Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Lore Sports proudly brings to you the best racing podcast in the world. Now, here's your host, Lauren Leach, the color guy, Mark Allen, the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast.
Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of the Loose Lugs Racing Podcast, presented by the Corp Racing and Valley Gasket. Thank you, Tim, Ben, and Carrie, for all that you do for us and all the racers and teams out there. Like we always say, it's incredible. It truly is. Mark, episode 182. How are you doing, man?
Hey, man, I'm finally back in the man cave, man. This is a place I haven't been all summer, so it's kind of weird to be home, man. But yeah, I've been busy racing, man, getting through the season, man.
Yeah, it was an incredible week of racing. We had the last week of Fox River Racing Club racing at WIR there, and then going into the weekend, we had the Jim Sauter Memorial at the Dells Raceway Park, and the Tundra Super Late Models over at Golden Sands Speedway in Plover. And what an incredible weekend of racing it was. And that was just the local scene.
Yeah, that was just the local stuff, man. So, yeah, you know how them holiday weekends are, man. There's always jam-packed racing somewhere you can go.
Yeah, for sure. It's great that we have it. Well, we're going to have Grant Griesbach on. I know we had him on about 12 or so episodes ago, 10 episodes, something like that. So we're going to have him back on to talk about his exciting season. Winner of the Red Race, we had him on after that, and he's captured a couple of championships since. So we want to bring him back on and celebrate him. So first, let's talk about the last week out at Wisconsin International Raceway with the Fox River Racing Club. The Wisconsin Sport Truck feature was pretty exciting there. Kyle Quella ended up taking that one home. Brady Vanderloop would be crowned champion.
Yeah, Kyle Qualla couldn't win a race, man, and then all of a sudden now he's hot. All of a sudden he took two in a row. What a way to finish the season off, man.
Yeah, for sure. Gavin Klein took home the Sizzlin' 4 feature. He had a pretty good year when he was racing out there. Jeremy Zarapata pretty much had that thing wrapped up before racing even started, though.
Nobody misses that yellow car, man. It's just a big old flash in that 27 out there for the Sizzlin' 4s.
Yep. And congratulations again to Jeremy Zarapata for wrapping up that championship there. A good season for the 73. Emery Beatty found himself in victory lane for the Super Stocks. Dylan Wenzel, we're so used to Dylan Wenzel winning almost every week or being in contention, but he kind of did it differently this year, but he was still crowned champion.
He did it with consistency, man. We've seen that every once in a while. That works out, man. You don't have to win all the time. Just be consistently fast. So, yeah, Emery Beatty beat out Ethan Beatty. I mean, there's Beatties coming out from all over the place, man. made for an entertaining stocks race out there.
Yeah, it did. Alex Stumpf not only won the race, he goes back-to-back in the championship as well in the Pro Late Models.
How do you mean he won the race? Wasn't that Brent Stroka won that race?
Oh, I'm sorry, Brent Stroka.
Yes, because he won two in a row. Wow, dude, I caught one on you. Usually you're always on top of me on that. But yeah, Alex Stumpf got third and well-deserved champion in that super sexy red Mustang out there, man.
Yes, Brent Stroka went back-to-back weeks with the win, and Alex Stumpf goes back-to-back in the championship. I don't know how I messed that one up, but my apologies. Grant Griesbach ends the year in victory lane and is the champion as well.
No doubt, man. But the surprise of the super lates was Travis Rodewald, man. He started on the front row, and if that caution wouldn't have come through in the middle of the race, man, he had a chance of popping that one off and winning a race. But yeah, Grant, when he got out front, man, he was just tailing off. So one thing that was unfortunate in that race was Jordan Thiel. I never seen a car pancake a wall and do so much damage underneath that car. It was just catastrophic damage on Jordan Thiel's car, man. I came up with said, at the end of the season here, the wheels have kind of come off, and and I just kind of just said that. I didn't mean to make a punter like that. He just kind of gave me the idea, just oh, I guess I did kind of say that. I didn't mean that in a bad way. She's still got too alive for 5 races that he has to get that car back together, man. So I said, put it together fast and straight, man, and you'll be all right.
Yeah, Thiel had a good season out there. Unfortunately, kind of got up into the wall and did a bunch of damage there. You're right though, Rotowall. Yeah, if that caution doesn't happen, he's right in the thick of it. He was still in the thick of it. Great to see that 27 back out there.
Yeah, all of a sudden he popped up. I see him all the time when he's walking on the midway and everything like that, and he dabbles every once in a while, but it was good to see him bring the super late out there, man, and it was fast.
It was for sure. And then the figure eights, Jeff Danley gets his first career win in the figure eights. Craig Van Wettering and Dan Grayson-Allen capped off the championship, though.
Yeah, I stopped down by Jeff and talked to him afterwards, man. He was pumped, dude. We always enjoy them first-time winners, man. It's so exciting when you interact with the first-time winners, man. They work so hard at it, and it's really great when they finally get their first victory.
It is one of the best parts of my job is interviewing the winner, any winner after, but first-time winners. The emotion really comes out and all that. It's tremendous.
One thing I've noticed lately, dude, these guys grab the microphone. You come up, you talk to them, and then when you give them the mic, they look like they want to grab it and control the mic. I don't get it. That seems to be a new thing going on there.
I didn't let them. Yeah, I've over the years I've let people, and I still do occasionally, but I try to hang on to that thing. But they got the one thing I would feel bad about is if I really kept it from them. Of course, I'm half joking there. Sometimes they need to go around their car to thank their sponsors, and we say it all the time on here that sponsors are so important. I mean, really, it's crucial to the sport. So if I don't let them do that, they might forget someone, and maybe they don't come back as a sponsor. So sometimes that's necessary.
Yeah, it looks like a new trend that's gone on, man. I noticed that people reach over and they try to grab that mic from you, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's nothing new. I've dealt with that plenty over the years. In fact, it's probably gone down this year a little, but yeah, it's funny when they try to grab it. I still try to hang on to it, and then it's a little awkward sometimes. But
it's fun though, man. They get out of the car, man. They're pumped, man. They just won, So yeah, it's all good stuff, man.
Yeah. What a great season it was for the Fox River Racing Club, though. I mean, the season flew by. We know it does every year, but this season seemed extra fast. It was a great season. I'm going to miss going out there weekly on Thursday nights like I do every year, but what a great season. And kudos to everyone, all of the officers out there, all the drivers, teams, and then also all the fans, Dan and Ginger Van Dalwick, for allowing us to have fun on Thursday nights. Just can't thank everyone enough for a great season.
Absolutely. There's only one problem, man. It went too fast. That was the only thing, but we all knew it. It was a head scratcher. Like, the season's going fast, and it just picks up steam as it goes, and before you know it, it's Labor Day and it's over. So you got to enjoy what you got while you got it.
And also, don't let me forget, the Eve of Destruction is this upcoming Friday here. So gates open at 2 p.m. Racing or Destruction starts at 7. So come on out there. It's a great event. Standing room only. Get out there early. Get your tickets now while you can. You don't want to wait till you get to the gate. It's packed, but it's an awesome event, and I hope to see everyone out there.
Usually it's sold out, man. So I saw a post today that it was getting pretty close, man. Yet they're getting close to being a sellout. So yeah, if you want to go to that, you better get your tickets right away. Don't sit on this one.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of surprises, fun, action, of course. So coming out this Friday for the Eve of Destruction. Again, gates open at 2, racing or Destruction starts at 7. Let's talk some more short track racing. We just talked about some big events that happened over the weekend. Gabe Summers won down at Dallas Raceway Park with the Jim Sauter Classic in the Midwest Tour. Looked like a phenomenal event. There was a big accident in that event. Thankfully, everyone was okay. But the Midwest Tour, Jerry Aubie, everyone at Dallas Raceway Park and the Midwest Tour puts on an awesome show, and that's becoming one of the crown jewels here.
Yeah, that 200-lapper sure is, man. And boy, that was just a different kind of race, man. It was some tough, hard racing and unfortunate, man. And we wrecked a lot of good cars, man. But cars could be fixed, and some of them were really pretty extensive, man. But everybody walked away from some of that stuff. It's amazing how a little racetrack like that can tear up a race car like that when something goes wrong. Yeah, Mike Litchfield apparently motor went out, and I mean they had kitty litter everywhere. But anybody that was on that outside groove, they had no chance at all, man. And wadded them up in the wall. And I was down in the pits while they were dragging them off the track, man. And just, I don't like seeing that stuff, man. It's just plain ugly, ugly stuff.
That's the worst part of racing is seeing that stuff. We all understand it's going to happen, but it doesn't make it any less worse. It is truly the bad side of racing.
Yep, and that's why everybody sits back and says, that's part of racing. It happens, and wrong place, wrong time. It can be unfortunate, but unbelievable tore up race cars, man. Unreal.
Yeah. But congratulations to Gabe Summers, who also took over the point lead with the Midwest Tour during the event there. So he's got a good shot to win another one.
Yeah, on that restart, Paulie Schaefer got him, and all of a sudden, Gabe had to come back, and Schaefer just kind of missed the one corner and just left a little bit of hole there, and Gabe got back and got his lead back, and then Ty Fredrickson beat Paul Schaefer back to the line for second place. So, that's a crown jewel down there, man. That's a new do not miss. Looking forward to next year already, man. I can pretty much plan it. I'll be down there for that one again.
Yeah. Yeah. How about Aaron Moyer? He won the Midwest Truck Series race, first time winner there. I just remember I've had some great conversations with Aaron over the last few years. He's a guy that we need to have on here, by the way. So close down at Madison 2 years ago, gets into the turn four wall, come back to the white flag, and loses the race there. I mean, he has such a great head on his shoulders, great outlook in racing, and it was really cool to see him get his first Midwest Truck Series win.
Yeah, he worked his butt off. That 73 truck, that Jerry Wood truck, Jordan DeVoy was in that car. We've seen Scott Hansen get a victory on a heat race down at Slinger, man. And so, yeah, Jordan was giving a run. We know how he can get around the Dells, and Grant Griesbach got the third place finish there. But Aaron Moyer, yeah, I wanted to go down there and get an interview off of him, man, but it just took so long to clean the track up and everything like that. They had too much time to get all wrapped up, and they were all got out of there by the time I got down in the pits.
Moving on to Slinger, Alex Prunty won the feature down there. Grant Griesbach capped off that championship. That is his third. So he has the red, white, and blue, the weekly FRRC title, and Slinger now, and he's going for at least one more, maybe two. I got to talk to him about that. We'll ask him more about that, but just an incredible season he's having.
Yeah, that looked like an awesome show down at Slinger, man. Alex Prunty took that. Looked like some pretty close racing. Our buddy in the '89. Mr. J.J. Miller, was there. He was he probably needed a few more laps. So it looked like a good event. And that Jaden Johnson in the late models, you don't see them two run down there, the late models and the supers at the same time. And it looked like they had a pretty dang good show down there at Slinger on Sunday night.
They always do. Great job by them. They still have 1 week left as well this upcoming Sunday, so you can still go down to support Slinger Super Speedway.
Yep, that's for the late models down there for their championship.
Yep, late models and others down there. Jeremy Lepak won the Tundra Super Late Model race down at Golden Sands, the Cleaver Classic. Also really cool. He also had fast time, by the way. Caden Kostichka and Ty Feature won the WIR quarter mile late model features, and Grant Gilbert won his second Wisconsin Sport Truck feature. So that was cool to see down there.
Hey, for sure, man. That was a head scratcher because I was watching it on Race Monitor and see Johnny Beal and Ty Fredrickson were just a givener, and they were really close. And something came up and I left and I came back and I see Jeremy Lepak won that. And boy, he hasn't won one in a while, man. Well deserved there. Yeah, he knows how to get around Golden Sands, man. So long time coming for a win for Jeremy.
everyone was fighting for the bottom, and Jeremy kind of took the high side and was able to make it work. And obviously had fast time, had a really good car underneath him, but still have to get it done, and he did it.
Yeah, so it was unfortunate that it sounded like Justin Mondyke had a motor go. He was fast.
Yeah.
He was fast in the heat race like that, but the engine couldn't answer the bell for the feature, so that was unfortunate for Justin Mondyke there.
Yeah, it was. But a great event for the Tundra Super Late models. Finally, they got their second race in of the season after starting, what was it, May 13th, and now going to August 31st, September 1st. September 1st it was yesterday. So, man, hopefully they can find good weather for the rest of their races coming up here. I know they got Dells and Marshfield coming up here, so still a couple races left for them.
Wish them all the best, man. They've had way too much bad luck on the weather, so we'll wish them good luck there.
Mm-hmm. We'll continue on now into the big series here. Brendan Queen won at the Coin in the ARCA Menards series.
No surprise there, huh? No. We're seeing how much of a wheelman that kid is too, so he'll come up through the ranks pretty fast, huh?
Yeah, I would say. Piastri won the Formula One race over Verstappen, and Isaac Hadjar got a P3 out of that, so that was cool for the rookie. Leclerc, Hamilton, and Norris all had DNFs.
Getting pretty soon that season should be winding down for them. They've been all over the world, ain't it? I don't know how many more races are left, but you think the season there is pretty much winding down for them.
9 races left.
Wow, that's still a lot. Just still at this time of the year, man. So that's
goes a lot into the first week of December.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, so still a lot to go.
Yeah, well, it gives us something to talk about, right, buddy?
Yep. IndyCar series then at Nashville Super Speedway to end their season. Joseph Newgarden gets the bad luck off his back and takes the win there. Pato O'Ward cut a right front while leading and slammed the wall. Malukas got spun by Foster and hammered the wall. He would actually get airlifted out of there, but he was seen and released. So good news coming from the David Malukas camp, and good for him to hear that. And I was wondering if it would be Will Power's last race for Penske. It came out today that it is his last race. It was his last race for Penske. They are splitting ways after 17 years and a lot of success.
17 years, yeah. That news came out today, man. So, wow, that's a long marriage right there, man. And so, see what happens and what the story will be all on the off season for that one.
Yeah, what is it? 45 pole awards. They got an Indy 500, 2 championships, all in the 17 years. It's been a highly successful tandem there, and we'll see what happens with Will Power. One thing circulating is maybe Colton Herta goes overseas and goes F2 racing, and that might open up a spot at Andretti. So that's the hot rumor right now going around, but we'll see what solidifies here over the next few months.
That's what's called the silly season, doing. So it starts for the IndyCars on the off season here.
Yep. All right, let's go NASCAR racing down at Darlington with the Craftsman Truck Series. Stage 1, Chandler Smith got into the wall and then did it again shortly after pretty hard. So that would be kind of the end of his race. Honeycutt also had a tire go down, but he was able to get to the pit lane. Mills and Crafton also had a pit after brushing the wall. Ty Majeski then had a tire go down late in the stage and made it back to pit road. But it'll be Corey Heim who won the stage. Garcia would have an uncontrolled tire under the caution, and Ty would take the wave around.
Yeah, bad start for Chandler Smith, being on the pole. He didn't even last 10 laps. And when they showed the replay when he hit the wall, there's no way a car can survive a crash like that at that angle. And he just totally ended up messing up the vehicle. Yeah, it was unfortunate for Majeski, but the tire wasn't down, but he felt it, and he just and he came in and he lost a lap, but later on he got a wave around and got a lot more improvement there. So, but hey, Heim time, man. Heim time for a stage win. That's the 16th one. That's ridiculous, man. That's crazy. The dude's in a whole league all by himself.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Ty would be at a disadvantage in stage 2 a little bit with those older tires to start off with, but taking that wave around was the right choice there. So they played it as good as they could. Stage 2 was pretty clean. Riggs ended up winning the stage, but he would have a slow stop at under the caution there.
Yeah, that was unfortunate. Hey, how about Raja Caruth and his crew chief Bono? He sure got all over Caruth's case on the radio and trying to keep him pumped up, man. And there was some chewing the rag on the radio there, man.
Yeah, that happens sometimes at these big races, right? It's playoff season, the tension rises a little, so yeah, that tends to happen. After that, Riggs would slow with a tire issue. Heim got by him for the lead, but right after Heim got by him, Honeycutt made contact with Perez, and they go into the wall hard, so that would actually help Riggs stay in the game there. LaJoy would have a restart violation. Ruggiero had a pit from the top 5 with 2 to go, so that was super unfortunate for Gio. Heim would go on and win it over Hemrick, Enfinger, Ty, Bain, Tanner Gray, Ankrum, Hill, Day, and Garcia. With his win, Heim advances to the second round. The points look like this. Heim advances. Riggs is plus 38. Hemrick is plus 33. Enfingers plus 30, Ankrum plus 22, Majeski plus 16, Kruth plus 4, Garcia plus 2. Smith is now minus 2 and Honeycutt is minus 7. So all things considering the bad day that Chandler Smith had and Honeycutt, they are still in the thick of it.
Very much so. But now you're looking at Bristol here in a week and a half, man. They're running on a Thursday night of all things with the ARCA series on a Thursday. So that's their next race, man. And then we'll determine who stays and who goes.
Yep. Chandler Smith actually did have the fastest lap, 30.129 seconds, which equals 163.218 miles per hour. And as you mentioned, they get a week off before they go to Bristol.
A point's a point. So Chandler, even though he got a bad deal there, he still ended up saving a point for what it's worth. But you know what? We know what they're worth. Every point is valuable.
Which is a good point by you because it came out last week that Larson actually took, was it second in points or third in points? And the thing that propelled him to it was the difference was the fastest lap points that ended up added up for him. So that's a great point by you because every point matters.
Every point matters.
The Xfinity Series was out at the road course in Portland. Thompson had to replace the battery pretty early. Later on, he would spin after going off track. Then DeBenedetto would stop on track. And then he would fall out of the truck getting out there, or excuse me, the car getting out there. Looked scary for a little bit, but he ended up being okay. Zilich would win the stage under caution. Thompson, we just talked about him a couple times, he would also get penalized for working on the car too long. Perkins, Koga, and Ryan Sieg were too fast there. And the reason I bring up those penalties is they were super interesting to me because they had kind of controlled pit stops because it was a standalone Xfinity race. So you didn't expect to see a lot of penalties, but I'll announce more later on even.
Yeah, they got a 3-minute window, man, to get it done. And then if you don't finish your work, well, then you're messed up. Hey, with that Matty D, man, I guess he came back and said that yesterday that apparently there was a fire going on underneath there, and he was getting his tootsies getting him hot, man.
Yeah.
And he said it's probably the scariest thing that he's ever experienced in a race car. And yeah, we never like seeing guys get out of a race car and they hit the ground, just trying to get out of there as fast as they can. So unfortunate for them. But yeah, there was just a little smoke there, but there was a fire going on inside that car.
Yeah. Harrison Burton would spin after contact with Will Brown, and then he would spin again later on. Love and Swalich would make some contact. Love would have some rear end damage. Thompson would spin, and Nunziata would spin. Zilich would win stage 2. Love got penalized for working too long, and Koga was speeding as well there. So more penalties.
More penalties, and the further you go in a race, the harder they are to get over them.
They are. Creed would spin later on. Alfredo would spin. Annunziata would spin again. Then Sawalic would get into Zilich, forcing him to go wide, and he would have some damage there. Elgire would also spin, And then a bunch would spin in turn 11, like Mayer, Eckes, Jones, Taylor Gray, and Hill would go to the lead before Perkins would go off and get stuck.
There was a whole mess of pile up over there in that last corner over there, man. And boy, when they get off the track, man, it's so dusty there and everything like that. The dirt just flies when you get off the track there. We've seen that multiple times on incidents.
Yeah. Zilich would miss turn 1 again, but still would get the lead, and he would go on and win. It was Zilich, Sawalich, Sanchez, Eckes, Hill, Quapple, Jeb Burton, Green, Perkins, Love. Sammy Smith would end up having a discussion with Sanchez after the race and didn't really like how he was being raced there. And the fastest lap would go to Zilich, 74.552 seconds, 95.128 miles per hour. The Xfinity points look like this with only Gateway left before their playoffs this upcoming weekend. Zilich is in with wins. Allgaier's in with wins. Hill, Mayer, Love, Jones, Smith, Sanchez is all in with wins. Quapple's in on points. Creed is plus 65. Gray is plus 60. Harrison Burton is plus 31. And Jeb Burton is the first one out, minus 31. Also, the regular season title is still on the line for the Xfinity Series. Zilich is up 20 on Allgaier and up 50 on Mayer.
You know, I'm going to come right straight at you and say Zilich freaking cheated on that white flag lap. I mean, the first time I understood where all of a sudden he got cut off and he got down there and, okay, he went through the, I don't know what they call it. It's a little chicane that you get through there, and that's fine. But when that white race came there, or that white flag lap, he never even attempted to even go around that corner. He cut that course off, and NASCAR said that's fine. Well, then what's the purpose of having that? I think if you cut that off, you should at least have to come to a complete stop. That's kind of like everywhere. And on this time, it wasn't. That was a head scratch, man. Just like, how could you do that? You know, he absolutely. And they said, well, the next turn was going to be congested, and that's why he did that. And I'm just like, that's BS. Straight up BS. He cut that course.
I love your honesty on it, and I questioned it when I saw it too. I was like, ooh, I don't know, but the rule is if you miss the corner, you just have to go through that. It's almost like a Formula One rule on road courses. I don't know if you remember, like back in the day with Senna and all that, they would have these runoffs, and you would actually go off on these runoffs and go through it, and there's a lot of controversy with them. But yeah, I mean, that's the rule. If you miss the corner, you go through the chicane, and that's it. And it did propel him to the win, I guess. Did it make a huge difference? Was he probably still going to win? Yeah, probably, but it would have been a lot more close if he had to make that corner.
It was faster to cut the course there, though. After you used to go went around this way and that way, and you come back out on the track, because Sawalich was there, and all of a sudden they were side by side. Next thing you know, he came back out on the track, and he had a 1 second lead over him. Going, you know, you cut the course and you end up getting advanced on that, and I've never seen anything like that before. So what's that corner doing there anyway, man? Then you better redo the corner, or if you cut the corner, you have to stop. And we'll see that at the Roval coming up here later on when you miss the chicane, that you have to come to a stop and go. So head scratcher there, man. I didn't like it. Especially that was your guy, you know, your pick, but still besides the point.
Well, I got some good news for you. Is they're not going back to Portland next year, so you don't have to worry about it anymore.
Wow, and you know, and Portland's been on the list for a long time, you know, and so wow, that's strange, but that's a long trek across the country way over there, you know, and then they pick up Sonoma, you know, usually if they can line it up with the Cup teams. The Cup schedule, and they can land in Sonoma while they're on the West Coast. So, all right, well, we'll let Portland rest then if we're not going there next year. But they can fix that corner, man. Make it make it more fair.
You're still gonna hammer your point. I don't care if they're not going back. I'm gonna tell you how I feel, and I love it.
Yeah.
You know, the thing about it is, yeah, you're probably right. And I think they do need to have a presence in the Pacific Northwest. It would be cool for them to go back to Portland or somewhere near the Seattle area, something up in that area. So hopefully they figure something out for the future. But anywho, let's talk some Cup Series racing at Darlington. The Southern 500, one of the crown jewels there. Barry would spin and get up into Reddick. Reddick with an unbelievable save. I can't believe he didn't get more damage than what he had. And this was all on lap 1, unfortunately.
Yeah, Barry just plain lost it on that corner there, man. It's amazing they didn't take out a whole bunch more, you know. Kyle Busch was involved there. The 99 got some damage with Suarez. But it was fortunate there. Yeah, the 45, Reddick had that great big tire burn right in the side of his door. But what a save, man. And Barry made hard contact there, and they just couldn't get that car. Couldn't fix that car, but they fixed it pretty good when he came back on the track. He ended up getting the fastest lap after the car was wrecked, and he got a point for that with a wrecked car. And
he did.
But then it didn't matter, man. He couldn't make it to the end. That car was too much damage.
Yeah. Kozlowski later on would stop in Logano's pit after realizing he had a loose wheel. That video was kind of cool to see. Also, you see a guy turn around real quick, and another guy hands the tire changer his helmet to go over the wall. The guy's like hopping over the wall already. The other guy's putting on his helmet for him and all that, and kind of interesting rivals, but in the Ford camp there, and former teammates helping each other up there. Bowman would then have a major issue on pit road. The hoses weren't connected properly. He would lose multiple laps. You just cannot have that happen. Yet we see the first race with a ton of playoff drivers having mistakes and pit road mistakes, and it happened again at Darlington.
40 seconds, man, and it cost them three laps. And you could just see like they were Keystone Cops, man. It just
man.
Everything went wrong. Just everything that could possibly go wrong on that stop, and it killed them. And you got to have track position, man. If you lose any of that, man, your day is over. Even though it's a long 500 lap, it's hard to pass there, man. It's hard to make up ground.
It is. Briscoe would win the stage. SVG got back to be the free pass there. There was a battle that was behind Briscoe there, and SVG made it happen. So a playoff driver actually did a good job to get in back on the lead lap there.
Yeah, he was dealing with Zane Smith, and that's not right. Gilliland was there, and those guys were battling. It was a race within a race to see who was going to get the lucky dog there at the end of that stage.
It was an exciting race to the end there. And then in stage 2, there was a close call for Hocevar and Elliott, and a little later on, Hocevar and Buscher. Buscher would actually brush the wall during their incident. And then, to top it off, Hocevar would spin late in the stage.
Yeah, good old Hocevar making things interesting. Hey, at the beginning of that stage, when they took off, Hamlin and Briscoe both did a wheel spin, and they both clicked tires into each other. And Hamlin complained after that he had damage, and he never really recovered from that. It's just like his ship took on water, man, and it just went worse and worse for Hamlin. That was a bad deal for him.
Yeah, Hamlin, Wallace, Byron with slow stops. Byron had to back up into his pit to tighten a wheel. Hocevar would spin into his pit after contact with Bell. Blaney also had to back up due to being blocked by Hocevar. Pit road was just interesting all night.
Yeah, Bell said that Hocevar just ruined his night. So it was unfortunate. He had a couple things to say. They were talking at the time that Briscoe's alternator was going out, and we were slowly wondering when that was going to happen, or he was going to run out of power. Yeah, and Hamlin was dealing with a bad clutch, and he couldn't take off, and they had to push him off. And I'll tell you what, that Southern 500, that is just a tough stuff on the equipment, man. We've seen that all night long there.
Yeah. After Briscoe started reporting the voltage issues, Ware would spin. SVG initially stayed out, but eventually does pit there. Bell would make repairs under that caution, and then Blaney would spin after Busch gets loose in front of him. Austin Dillon may have made some contact with Blaney there, but Blaney kind of had a long night as well.
Boy, what a job, though, once he coming down by the wall, and then he laid on the gas, and he just brushed the back bumper. Otherwise, if he would have stayed on the brakes, he would have took the wall down. So unfortunate for him. Yeah, the three, Austin Dillon, didn't have no place to go there. That's such tight racing. And one guy checks up, the other one right there. And so Blaney was fortunate that he didn't completely destroy that car.
Yeah. Austin Dillon would brush the wall after racing close with Cindric. Briscoe would win the second stage.
Briscoe was winning everything, man. He was him and Reddick. Reddick had the short run, and the Briscoe had the long run at this time. But that would slowly go away for Briscoe at the end here.
Kraus, unfortunately for him, he was having a good night in that 44 machine. He would start on fire and had to get out. Blaney had pit just before that, and he was complaining, what else can go wrong this evening there? So for Blaney there. But after that, Reddick and Jones were close, but it was a dominant win for Briscoe. First driver to lead 300 or more laps in a Southern 500 since Bobby Allison in 1971. It was Briscoe, Reddick, Jones, Nemechek. So a good night for Legacy Motor Club, an unbelievable night, third and fourth there for them. Allmendinger with the top 5. Wallace, Hamlin, Busch, Hocevar, and Buescher, the rest of the top 10. So Briscoe advances with his win. Hamlin is now plus 43, Larson plus 38, Reddick up 35, Wallace up 25, Byron also up 25, Blaney up 22, Chastain plus 21, Cindric plus 12, Bell plus 11, Elliott plus 9, SVG still up 3 points, Logano minus 3, Austin Dillon minus 8, Bowman minus 19, and Barry also minus 19. And you mentioned Barry did get that fastest lap point, 29.083 seconds, which equals 169.351 miles per hour going into Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway.
You know, with Barry and Bowman, with all the problems that they had, only being 19 points out, that's actually can be manageable. But one hiccup, man, and their season's going to be over. So they have to run a flawless race here coming up at St. Louis.
Yeah, yep, for sure. All right, why don't we make our picks, tell everyone about the TV schedule, and then bring on our guest, Grant Griesbach here. So going into Worldwide Technology Raceway for the Xfinity Series, Mark, you get to pick first.
Yes, in the Xfinity Series, man, I was checking it all out, seeing who I could grab. And last time I'm going to pick him this year. He runs really well. He's even done well in the Cup Series. Hey, I'm going to do some Eric Almirola, man. I'm going to throw him at you at the Xfinity Series.
Great pick there, obviously, for your last time. Just marking it down there. And I am going to pick someone that I thought I picked once earlier this year, but I can't find him on my list, so I must not have. I want to pick Sam Mayer to go down to Worldwide Technology Raceway and get that win.
Yeah, I had him last week at Portland, and he was in the top 5 all the way until the end, until he ended up in that one big melee at the end. But Sam Mayer is definitely relevant. He's coming around at the right time. We're going to see how he can get through this playoff system coming up, man.
Mm-hmm. Also, I should tell you that the defending winner down there, the Xfinity Series hasn't been back since 2010, where Carl Edwards won. And remember what was interesting about that race is that's the incident where he spun Brad Keselowski out of turn 4, and Brad Keselowski took some massive hits on the front stretch because it gets pretty tight there. So that was an interesting race back in 2010.
Boy, that's 15 years ago, man. I can still remember Keselowski being like a pinball down that front stretch. Major damage, a major hit going on there. But yeah, I remember that race.
And they talked to Bob Keselowski, and he said, I'm not going to have anyone kill my son. It was, you think back at those moments, and that was a heated rivalry back then. Doesn't seem that long ago, but you're right, 15 years, man.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy.
And then for the Cup Series, the defending winner is Austin Cindric. I am going to pick his teammate, Ryan Blaney.
Yep, that's a good pick. I was thinking that maybe you were going to take the guy I wanted, but that would have been my second pick. But hey, man, I'm going to take a Christopher Bell. He looks like he's starting to get fast, starting to come around. This is the time of year that Christopher Bell is going to come around. We'll throw the 20 car at you on Sunday, man.
All right, that's a good pick there. Looking forward to this weekend here. Here's what the TV schedule looks like. So Worldwide Technology Raceway at Gateway on Friday at 4:05 on the CW app is Xfinity practice. Then Saturday, 2 o'clock on the CW app, as well as Xfinity qualifying. 3:30 on True TV is Cup practice and qualifying. 6 o'clock on the CW is pre-race. 6:30 the CW race gets CW the Xfinity race gets going. Stages of 35, 35, and 90. Then on Sunday, 1:30 on USA is pre-race. 2 o'clock the Cup Series race gets going on USA. Stages of 45, 95, and 100 in the 70s with 5% chance of moisture. So it looks great down there in Madison, Illinois.
Love that 5%, man. So that sounds good, man. Love weekends where we don't have to sit and look at the sky.
Yes, I agree. So, all right. So that recaps everything that we got for you. Why don't we go out to the hotline and bring on multi-time champion here in 2025, Grant Griesbach.
Let's do it. All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. All right, Grant, thanks for coming back on. I know we had you on about 10 episodes ago after you won the red race there. Since then, not much has gone on, huh? Just a couple of championships.
Yeah, no, it's definitely been a long summer. It's been a real successful one to say the least. I didn't pick up another feature win until last week, but there's been a lot of consistency, a lot of top threes, top five runs all summer.
Hey, man, I don't think I've ever heard of somebody winning 2 track championships in less than a week, man. So, hey, congrats, man. How does it feel?
It still quite hasn't sank in yet. Sunday, it was actually after the race, it was a long 60-something lap run, and I kept yelling at my dad to kind of forget about the points during the race. But I was kind of more disappointed I lost and finished second, but Thursday was really cool to, walk it off with a win, a fast time, a real dominating night. But I would definitely say Sunday, after looking at the stats, out of the 6 races, we finished second 3 times. So we were awfully close to a win a lot of times. And most importantly, in all the weekly shows, we didn't have any DNFs. So that was definitely a big key to my crew and people I got helping me in building these cars, that they're building them sturdy and they're doing their jobs right.
Yeah, man, I want to recap kind of your season up here at Wisconsin International Raceway first. So you start off, you win the Tundra Super Late Model race, the Bear 96, you win the Red race, and then you win the last night there to cap it all off. Has it sunk in, at least for what you accomplished up at WIR this year, or do you think that'll come after everything's over for you?
I think it'll come after everything's over. I kind of needed a couple of days to relax. Yesterday on Labor Day, I'd lie to you if I said I did anything productive other than make dinner. So I needed a day to just rest and kind of just sit there. And it was not only a long weekend, but a long year. So kind of taking that in. But the WIR championship was almost a sense of relief because it's something we've been close to a lot of years. We're Slinger. We've never really been in competition for a championship. I've just been there forever. So they were both kind of cool and relieving in their own ways. It's almost like an about time feeling for my career because like I've told people, it feels like I haven't really changed anything in my life. Or with the races, I've been working hard on them for year after year. It's just finally came together.
And I'd be remiss if I didn't bring this into the equation. Also won the Red, White, and Blue State Championship. Mm-hmm. So that's 3 championships so far in the span of like 3 weeks. So that's just incredible for you guys. Hey, one thing I want to ask is now you're back into the point leads for the Midwest Truck Series here with a couple races left. But you mentioned when we brought you on 10 weeks ago that you might be running for the Tundra Super Late Model Championship as well. Where does that stand?
I think I'm teammates with the 36 of Frederickson. Kind of seeing how that finishes out. Now the Tundra Series schedule finishes out. It's kind of up in the air. I've had plenty of my time just focused on my own kind of things and let them worry about that.
Yeah, I was down at the Dells on Saturday, man. Hey, you pulled out a 3rd place finish, man. How did that race go for you?
Well, it definitely ended a lot better than it started. On the start, I didn't get the start I needed to, and Nick Van got in front of me, and I think one more car got around me, and like Reichenberger was behind me, and then I was sitting 7th, and I was really not feeling good about the race at all. I liked how my truck was feeling. It just didn't have the speed. And then come around lap 20, 30, we got some cautions that we needed and kind of bunched back up, and the lanes worked out, and I think we found some speed. I didn't have anything for Jordan DeVoy or Aaron Moyer, but it was definitely good to get by the three. You hate to say you're just racing one guy, but that's kind of how the points have come down to. And it seems like one week he'll finish a spot or two in front of me, and then I'll finish a spot or two in front of him. We were the top two in qualifying. It's almost like we're stuck together, and I definitely think it's going to come down to the last race.
You got Jefferson doubleheader coming up here later in September. Then, of course, you got Oktoberfest and ending the season at following for the Midwest Truck Series here. What is your outlook for the rest of the year here in the 60 truck?
We definitely need a really good Jefferson. Last time there, we were good, not great, and it's just a track that I'm not too excited to go to every time I go there, even though it's closest to home now and 15 minutes down the road. But that track does not fit my style with the short, tight corners, low speed, and it's kind of just try to hit your marks and floor it off the corner. And it's just all about not making mistakes in the truck series. I think if you might not pass any trucks, but you can hold your spot if you just don't make any mistakes. And I think we definitely got speed in the 60 truck. It's just to figure out how to get around there a little bit.
How do you prepare for something like that? Obviously, you're kind of limited, probably not till you get to the track. Is there anything you do to try to prepare differently? Are you going through stuff? What does that look like going into Jefferson?
I've kind of prepared, watched kind of the in-truck cameras that we've had, and just kind of see what I've done well and what I haven't done well. It also doesn't help that this year the track layout's a little bit different than what it's been. With 1 and 2 being a little bit higher, it does change quite a bit of how you drive that place. So that definitely didn't help me a lot either. But it's just kind of getting there. At least Friday's qualifying points and heat race points will count, but the feature show-up points. So it'll be a night to stay out of trouble, but hopefully learn a lot about the track in 50 laps and hopefully be ready for a feature event worth of points on Saturday night.
You say you've been, doing the same stuff. I mean, there's got to be something there that's changed, like the prep, or is it the experience, or is it your equipment? I mean, all across the board, you're performing at such a higher level. There's got to be something different there that actually enhanced your career here.
Well, this year was my first full year with coming out of the shop out of my own backyard when the cars aren't at Casey Johnson's. So maybe that helped a little bit. We did have a new car at WR and a different motor the last half of the year when we were clicking off a bunch of fast times. So it's just, I think we finally found the perfect combination. Maybe a lot of people are telling me I got a girlfriend, so maybe she's the one that makes me win all these races. So there's just a whole lot of things that I feel like I've been doing forever, and it's just finally clicked and everything's come together. I think maybe this new tire helped our setups a lot, but you could just say Casey Johnson as the crew chief, he's having a great year in his own right. So I can kind of leech off that success, and he sets up really fast race cars. So now that we got the motor, and I feel like if I can drive 95% as good as he does, I think we can do pretty good.
For sure, man. Hey, one thing is you guys seem pretty even keel. Even though you've won these championships and all that, you've stayed pretty. You don't get too high and you don't get too low. How does that work, and where does that come from?
That's just kind of always been the way I've kind of looked at things. The only things I really get nervous about is the stuff that's out of my control. Like, are you going to get caught up in a wreck that someone else causes, or are you going to have a part failure that, you couldn't prevent, or stuff like that. I just know that, especially the way the year went, I had no reason to not trust my abilities, the car's abilities, to run up front and contend for wins. So it's kind of just the calmness of, just go out and do what we've been doing. It's a lot easier when you can just say we've done it before, and you just go out and race for wins, and the championships will take care of themselves.
You said something about Slinger that kind of made me think back to the last night at Kaukauna here. It seemed like you were going to be content kind of running top 3, top 4 there, and all of a sudden you had the opportunity to get up to the front row and you make it happen there. Were you going to be content running kind of top 3 and just sit there, but when the opportunity opened up, you took it? Or what was going through your mind there late in that race?
Thursday night, we had it wrapped up. I could have wrecked lap 1 and we would have won the championship. So it was kind of a little bit of a different scenario. Obviously, you don't want to do anything stupid and wreck the car. And have more stuff to fix over the winter or before fall specials. But it's kind of one of those races where you just kind of take what he can get. And at the beginning of the race, we were fourth, and then the 2 and the 50 wrecked in front of us. And I thought Efforts was the only other car that might have been, had a shot for us, or he had the track position in front of me, and I think he would have been hard to get around. So right when we knew I had the front row, I knew we kind of had the race won if I didn't make any dumb mistakes, and could just kind of ride around and make good lap times and pull away from the field. You never really know how far away you are in front of the field until you watch back the videos, and you're like, well, maybe I didn't have to go that fast, but it seems like every time you go to try to save and you feel like you're driving it, softer into the corner, not getting full throttle, you're going straight, and you just keep making the same lap time. So maybe there's something to that.
Hey, you talked about the fall specials, man. Right now you're enjoying probably a nice long break here from this long summer, but what does the fall specials look like for you coming up?
I think we'll run Thursday and Friday lacrosse in the super late, and then my dad's really big on running the Bill Bigley in Freedom Factory in Florida this winter. So winter, fall, whatever you want to call Thanksgiving weekend. So that's where you'll catch the GT17. All the other races will be there. Be at Jefferson with the truck, be at lacrosse Saturday with the truck, and Oktoberfest weekend, and then Halloween. So I'm going to take a couple weeks off, enjoy my time this next couple weekends, and then hopefully hit the ground running again at Jefferson.
What do you have planned over the next few weeks during this break? Are you going to do anything fun? I know you go to some Packer games sometimes. You travel a little bit. What do you got planned?
Well, we'll be good at the Packer game Sunday and Thursday next week to play 2 games in 5 days. So I'll be working at Anglers Friday night. So I'll be there. And Saturday I'm just kind of roaming around in Fremont. Maybe I'll catch up with the horse and buggy ride my dad does to Green Bay, or I'll just be wandering from bar to bar in Fremont all day. I kind of have no plans and just going to be a relaxing day, and we're going to see what happens. And then the weekend after for Saturday, my dad wants to go to Tuscaloosa to go to the Wisconsin game at Alabama. So we'll see. Plenty of kind of relaxing but also fun activities. Get out and do something else other than racing.
That sounds like a blast here. Maybe we'll have to meet up for the opener. Me, my wife, and kids are going.
All right, awesome.
We'll meet up for that. What other things you got planned here after the truck series is over? You mentioned Freedom Factory. No snowball derby. I didn't hear you mention the snowball derby. No. Nothing like that. And then, is it too early to talk about 2026 and what your outlook is for that yet?
Not really. It's kind of, we've talked about it a little bit. It's nothing set in stone, but I think we're going to try to run all 3 back. And it's been a really ambitious schedule. In the last month, I've been really kind of burnt out. And that's probably one of the reasons, too, why it hasn't quite set in, is because I'm just excited to have time to relax and not have to worry about getting cars ready for the next race. But just kind of relaxing. Snowball derby, I think, is a little out of our budget yet right now. So I think we're going to wait on that. Maybe one day I'd really love to do that, but this year it's not in the cards. So I think next year just Kakana Slinger. I think Slinger's going to add a couple more races, go back to 8, plus Nationals and plus the Stars. So I think we're going to hopefully run it all back, and hopefully after the truck season's over, we have 4 championships to defend.
Hey, you mentioned that Casey Johnson helps you. Hey, man, who else behind the scenes helps you go, man?
Well, Conrad Morgan's where I got my start in super late racing. I was out of his shop until this year for 10 seasons of super late racing. So huge shout out to him. He's still a huge part of it. When Casey's busy with his own stuff, Conrad's helping me more mechanically. We made a motor change at Kakana after the white race, and then we also blew a motor late July, early August at Slinger, and Conrad he took the charge at, pulling the motor out, and when we had a week to put the new one in, he was the one doing all that. John and Scott, Scott's the owner of the truck, but John's his brother-in-law, right-hand man. They've both been a big help. Mike Vogt, Jr. has been a big help this year. He's been out in my shop once a week along with Alex. He's been kind of new to racing, but glad he's been with our side, and he's been awesome and learned a lot. So I got a lot of guys, my crew that's been at Kakana for years. Max, Tanner, Wolf, Bird, those guys have been awesome. And they try to get them down for as many Sundays as I can. But those guys have been very helpful at the track, and there's always you always need more help as time goes on. So it's really, really awesome to have a great group of guys around us. And there's a lot of people that go into as much as I race. So I'm sure there's plenty more that I'm missing too yet. But there's plenty of people that have gotten me to where I am today.
Hey man, how do you keep yourself from not getting too burnt out? Because I would say, even after winning the championship and all that, I can kind of tell today that you've been through a lot. It's been worth it. But how do you what do you do to keep yourself from not getting too burnt out?
Not really sure. I luckily with my job they're very flexible where I don't work a whole lot in the summertime. So just got that. The shop help's been awesome this year. So there's been a lot of things that I've kind of done. You make sure I have my days here and there. It's just been long. Hopefully next year I find a couple more ways to stay a little less burnt out. 2 motor changes in the same span of a couple weeks definitely took a lot out of us, especially with one being a blown motor, because there's a lot more to a blown motor than what people may think. You got to make all new oil lines, new oil cooler. You basically got to reset up the whole car. When something like that happens, you can't just plug and play a new one. And of course, the engine builders are waiting on parts. So when we got it back, luckily we had a good 8-9 days to put it in, but sometimes it's even tighter than that. So it's just been a lot of that. And it's also the travel. Coming to Thursdays for 15 weeks in a row, going 2 hours each way on Thursday nights definitely adds up. So just trying to be more prepared for that and just trying to get through it.
Hey, I hope this is okay to share the story, but you talked about that blown motor down at Slinger. That happened early in the night, and you needed to recoup and find a solution here quick. And from what I heard is that Brad Keith heard what happened, kind of messaged your dad, and you had about, 20 minutes, 30 minutes to get from the track to his shop back, get it ready, and then try to race. And then what's going through your head? Because now you're in someone else's equipment. I mean, just talk about that night and how you're able to take control that night.
Well, it was like the first couple laps of practice, so I guess that's the best time for it to happen. And Brad Keith lives 10 minutes away, so by the time I was walking up, I was thinking of all the guys that were at the track that would let me run their car. But my dad and Travis was over there. It was Travis Dasso's motor inside of Brad Keith's car, so had to get the okay from both of them, and just closed up the trailer and we were off. And of course it was the 95-degree day at Slinger. It couldn't have been the nice day. And we were kind of short on help. I just had Mike and Alex and my dad with me and my girlfriend. So we were kind of a little short on help, and we had about 30 minutes after we unloaded the car to throw our shocks on it and tires. And I got 3 laps of practice before qualifying, and we kind of just started working on it and throwing all of as much setup stuff as we could inside a car that, as much as it's a Reed, we still don't know everything about it. And the seat fits a little different. As a little bigger guy, it was a little tight and had to move the steering wheel up because it was sitting the beer gut a little bit. But once we got everything comfortable in there, we still qualified 7th, which was awesome, and finished 8th in the feature, which for as much as I felt like we could have squeezed a little bit more out of it, that's about as good as it could have went with the circumstances.
Hey, you've mentioned a couple times with your girlfriend, man. That's a good luck charm for you to keep your feet on the floor. Huh?
Yeah.
How's that working for you?
Oh, no, she's been awesome. She keeps me organized. She loves racing more than I do, so she definitely keeps me going, keeps me organized. But I definitely needed a little bit of organization in my life, so I seem to forget stuff less often, and she's definitely kept me going on the straight arrow all summer.
Yeah, it's been great to see you guys at the track there. Going back to that night at Slinger, that's really those nights build championships, adversity, overcoming adversity. And I just thought that was so cool when I heard that Brad is, hundreds of miles away, says, hey, just go grab my car. You just get the okay from Travis and go and get it. And those are the days that really are special when you look back on it.
Yeah, definitely. That's without that night, we definitely couldn't have accomplished the championship. We also kind of had one of those nights in the truck series at Marshfield, and it was a hot day, and it was kind of got caught up in a wreck early in the race, and there you're cutting body panels off, and you're trying to finish the race without a hood, and a fender and everything's bent on the truck, and we ended up taking it home fourth that night. And if we would have had more time, I think we even could have contended for the win. But you have nights like that you look at and you think, oh man, if everything went perfect, we could have won the race. But you can kind of look back and you made the best out of a situation and you kind of just maximize points, and that's what you're there to do.
Yeah, well, hey man, we appreciate you coming back on here. Congratulations on the 3 championships.
Thank you.
Good luck on taking the 4th with the Midwest Truck Series, and we'll see what happens with the Tundra Super Late models for you as well. But even winning the 3, quite incredible there. So
Yeah, awesome.
Congratulations to you and your team. We appreciate you guys, your team, your dad. We got to get to Anglers. I've been talking to you guys back and forth over the next few weeks, so we'll get there September, October sometime, and
Sounds
have
good.
good time with you guys. So
Sounds
thanks,
good.
buddy. Congrats.
Yep, thank you.
Congrats, man. Yep, see you later.
Thank you.
Mark, I know that we had Grant on just about 10 weeks ago, but a lot, I kind of started that with hey, not a lot has happened, just a couple of championships. Man, what a successful season for him, and it's still going. He's got a shot at least one more championship to complete the 4-peat. Like I said, he won the Tundra opener at Wisconsin International Raceway, the Bear 96, won the Red Race, won the last night at WIR, picked up a win in the Midwest Truck Series early at Hawkeye Downs there. He had 4 fast times, both in the Midwest Truck Series and at Wisconsin International Raceway. I'm not sure about Slinger, but just a widely successful season. Just unbelievable.
We saw that right away when he won the Tundra race, man, and all of a sudden the season just took off from there, man, and it's just been flying. So riding one heck of a wave, man, and it's been working for him. And boy, we'll see if he can pull off the truck race too, man. Might as well do that too.
Yeah, he's going to be locked in a hard battle with Brandon Reichenberger, who's the defending champion there and a friend of the program. So it'll be cool to see those two good guys, great teams, great families. Kind of battle it out till the end, and may the best team win. But I was just hoping that he had time to settle down and think about what he's accomplished, and maybe that'll come, at the end of the truck season, or maybe during the middle of it when he's thought about what he's accomplished, because it is really special. I asked him after we were done with the interview, and he confirmed he's the only one to win the weekly points at WIR and Slinger in the same season. Lowell Bennett is the closest, where I think he won Slinger Weekly, Slinger Nationals, and Red, White, and Blue in the same season. So he is close. I guess I don't know. That's pretty hard to do. And yeah, there were more cars back in the day, but these cars are so technical that you're putting so much more work into them. So it's kind of a hard thing to compare there. But either way, what an accomplishment.
It's crazy, man. What a year. Yeah. Just rub up against the guy, man. You'll get some good luck.
I should have asked him this too. I brought it up the last time we had him on, and brought up 2021, where he was leading the points late, had a couple of bad weeks, and lost the championship by 3 points. And he had a saying that stuck with me, and I said this 10 weeks ago too. And he got up and kind of took it like a champion and said, "Second sucks." And that's the only thing he's speeding. Was kind of a funny thing, but when you really deep dive into it, it does suck. Second does suck, and you put all in that work to finish second. You think you're going to win it. Bad things happen out of your control. And how that compares to winning it. And do you look back on the hard times and really think that's what propelled you to the championship years down the road? It's an interesting comparison, but I think back to that year for some reason when I think about him and coming into today and this year.
Yeah, second place is the first loser. You've always heard that. And nobody remembers the second place, right? You only remember the winner. But, hey, when you first start out, man, and you get a second place, you're pumped about it. But isn't that something after a while, second place just isn't good enough anymore?
Right. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Well, thanks to Grant for coming back on again. We appreciate it so much. Can't wait to get up to Anglers Bar and Grill and Campground to see that place that they have up there and have a good time with them. So we'll make sure to do that. Mark, anything you want to talk about before we end this thing, man?
Guess what? Wow, man, the season's really winding down. There's a little bit of opening here where everybody can kind of catch their breath here a little bit. And find a few fall specials, man. So yeah, it's just kind of good to be home and getting some whole bunch of projects done around here. Being home a little bit and going to hit the iRacing simulator, man. Just get back on there just a little bit and play around with that and keep relevant on that. So, yeah, well-deserved break here in September, but we'll catch some fall specials coming up here in a little bit.
Yep. Don't forget the Eva Destruction coming up this Friday in just a few days. Gates open at 2. Destruction starts at 7. Going to be a great night out there. Slinger ends their season on Sunday as well with the late models and other local classes. So get down to there if you're able to. I know the Packers start Sunday as well. So hopefully everyone can get out and do what they do and still support your local racetracks. And then I think, yeah, there's an open week, and then Jefferson. The week after that is Marshfield, maybe 141 for us at the end of September, and then Oktoberfest and Dell's a couple weeks after that. So there's a little bit of opening here, but still a lot to do. So get out, support your local racetracks, have some fun. I want to thank you, Mark, for everything that you're doing with the podcast page. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate Grant again for coming on. Thank you to Tim, Ben, and Carrie for all that you do for us in the racing community. And thanks, everyone, for your support. I kind of want to end with this as well. And I unfortunately had to make a post on our page this week. And, our page is not meant to be negative. It's not meant to provoke. It's not meant to do anything. Yes, we do show some racing action on there. We have these podcasts that get to know the drivers and teams. It's meant to be a supportive page. So if you're thinking of doing something negative and putting something negative out on social media, rethink that and think about how that could affect someone. So I'm just asking everyone to kind of think about that and think about how you would feel if someone was out there attacking you and putting blame on you. Like, let's all try to be supportive. We need everyone around to keep this sport going. We love this sport because it's passionate. I understand that. But just kind of rethink if you're going to post something negative and maybe put a different spin on it. So that's how I wanted to end this thing today. Thank you, everyone. And hey, we'll talk to you soon. See you at the Eve.
We'll see you down at the track pretty soon. I will not be at the Eve. So have a good, safe night out there, everybody. And we'll see you later on.
See ya.
This has been a production of Lore Sports. Hope you all enjoyed it, and thank you for listening.